I'm Allendale's Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. Surface analysis at this hour shows a stationary front draped from Philadelphia across Pennsylvania through central Ohio, central Indiana, central Illinois. Low pressure is back just to the south and west of Kansas City. We've seen some strong to severe weather flare off over the past few hours over parts of eastern Missouri, St. Louis area, dealt with some very gusty winds and damaging hail. That action is moving across southern parts of Illinois right now and will likely push into southern Indiana a little bit later on this afternoon. Still the hot zone to watch, I think, over the next 36 hours. We'll be back in the eastern part of the Central Plains. That low southwest of Kansas City is along a front that I think is probably going to pick up a little bit more intensity. We actually have a dry line coming from just to the west of Wichita on down south into Texas. We expect some stronger thunderstorms to fire off there probably as we go through tomorrow, mid to late afternoon, and on into the first part of the overnight. The main problems there will be damaging wind and hail. If you're looking at this as being a big rain producer for wheat country, don't. It will not be a big rain producer. As a matter of fact, the rains will come in places where there is already some other kind of damaging storm data coming through, whether it's hail, whether it's wind, whether it's even some minor tornadic activity. I think we could see some of that as we go through tomorrow afternoon. Looking at another strong to severe weather outbreak probably as we go through Thursday over Illinois and Indiana. The risk there goes all the way up into the northern parts of those states. Look for Missouri to get hit as well. So we are in a very active spring storm pattern right now. Speaking of that pattern, no reason for me to deviate from what we wrote online earlier this morning, and that is an extension of the wet period across the Corn Belt. I now see, after what we're dealing with right now, so not including today's moisture, 4 more weather systems that come through between now and the 23rd of April. The one Thursday, Friday will be followed up by one Monday, Tuesday of next week, then one for the 17th, 18th, and one for the 21st, 22nd. So all of those combined will end up putting moisture down over about 85% of the Corn Belt. Some of the areas that may not get hit are going to be extreme northern parts, northwestern parts of the Corn Belt, upper Mississippi Valley. But still, you got to look at this as a soggy kind of situation for the Corn Belt as we move through the middle of April and into the second half of the month. How long will it be before we start to hear some concerns about planting? I don't think it's going to be exceptionally long, even if those concerns are probably a little bit misplaced at the start. Dry weather in the plains continuing to be a factor. We already talked about the situation here in the next 24 to 36 hours, that it's going to be a severe weather event for eastern parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. We've got another strong low that's going to be coming in on Sunday, but that too looks like it's going to be mostly an eastern third of Kansas, southeast Nebraska, northeast Oklahoma kind of outbreak. It will not be one that puts moisture over a large part of the wheat belt. I think you go from I-35/US 81 westward, Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska. You're not going to be seeing much moisture there at all. What you do see will be very minor spits and sprinkles, especially here in the short term. So the dryness situation is not going away. However, as we go on toward the middle and end of the forecast period, we do see a situation, a frontal boundary complex trying to come together as we go through the 19th and 20th that might, and I do want to stress might, be something that we could hang our hat on. Could see half to maybe 3/4 inch rainfall totals coming across the Central Plains there. It would definitely be something that would help, but the question will be bounced around between now and then. If it happens, will it be enough, and will it be soon enough? Or is it too little too late? That's the main question there. But keep your fingers crossed. We do see some moisture at the 19th, 20th time frame across the hard red winter wheat belt. International weather not showing much signs of change. Still got decent showers around in Australia. Better moisture in parts of the Russian wheat areas. As we take a look at China, this is a wild card. Going to be planting a bunch of acreage over there in the next month and a half. Had been very, very dry. We're starting to moisten it up, at least in the southern minor parts of the corn and bean growing areas. Would like to see that moisture go a little bit farther north. The pattern here over the next 10 days to 2 weeks has a little moisture around, but nothing that I would say that would really help fill up the soil profile. So that's an area that we need to watch still. That's the way things are stacking up at midday. If you've got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.